Today I spoke about the 2012 election with political analyst Tom Serafin. We started off by talking about President Barack Obama's chances for getting reelected.
Probably 50-50. I mean, it's going to be a referendum on the Obama first term. So he's going to have to defend his record. If the Republicans have their act together, it's going to be about new issues, new policies, trying to get jobs. If we have 8-9% unemployment, it's going to be very difficult for the president to win re-election.
If he can get the economy going a little bit to the extent that things are improving, will voters forget the first 3 years?
They will forget the first 3 years if the Republicans let them. But the Republicans, their attitude is, we're not going to let you forget. Remember when Obama began running for president 4 years ago, at this point out from the general election, he was down 2-1 to Hillary Clinton. So anything can happen in these kinds of races. In this particular contest, I think Mitt Romney probably will be the eventual winner in the Republican primaries. I mean, that's where all the good money is right now. But Herman Cain has showed some very solid support. And Ron Paul, who won the Illinois GOP straw ballot over the weekend. So, I mean, there's several candidates out there. Right now it's Mitt Romney, and who's the next? And that should be Herman Cain right now.
It looked like Herman Cain was on the way up, and now he's had these sex harassment allegations that have dominated the news for a week now. How does he get past that at this point?
Well,
just by saying, I'm not going to talk about it anymore?
Well, in those situations, all the good lawyers who deal with these issues will tell you employment situations are, you don't know about these settlements. The employee settles privately with the employer, and they usually keep the CEO out of these things. So every one of these individuals, the participants in this situation, has a good legal sound reason why they don't know exactly what the other parties were doing. But move all that aside. Here's a man whose dad was a chauffeur, mother was a maid, self-made man. His dad had 3 jobs to put his kids through school, survived colon cancer in 2006. I mean, this is a tough guy, Herman Cain. I mean, a self-made person. I think that's why he's attractive to so many people. And I think he weathers this as long as there are no more additions to the story.
But you think he weathers it, but not enough to eventually defeat Mitt Romney. Why do you think Romney survives it all and comes out as the candidate?
Because I think there's 2 families inside the Republican Party. Those that want to see Obama defeated, and those that want Obama to be defeated with somebody that shares their attitude. The Tea Party people are fed up with Washington, D.C. They want an outsider. They want somebody who's authentic. Right now, that person is Herman Cain. He's not a politician. He's self-made. He's African-American, born in Tennessee, Georgia. His dad was who he was. His mother was who he was. This guy is authentic. He's real. He's a real American story, and he's an African-American. It's a wonderful story for a Republican. So Mitt Romney comes from more of a blue line, northeastern kind of candidate. And yes, everybody in the party likes him. He's got all these people.
But they don't love him.
They don't love him yet. But he's got to become more lovable. And I think he will through this primary. Governor Perry, Texas, is going to do his darndest to mess him up in Iowa.
I was going to say, the Obama camp apparently is upset that all this attention has been on Herman Cain for the last week, and they'd like to see Romney get dirtied up a little bit. You think that'll happen, but it won't be Obama who has to do it at this point?
No, I think the Republicans are doing to each other, which is unfortunate for the Republican Party. I mean, the lack of leadership there at the very top is showing their stuff right now, because they've moved the primaries, they condensed them. The first primary is January 3rd in Iowa. It's going to make it much more difficult over the long run. So I think in the last 10 days, President Obama's had a very good week. Governor Mitt Romney's had a very good week. Herman Cain's had a tough week, but he survived. All the polls today show him 1 and 2 with Mitt Romney, right up there, 23, 25, 24, 25. I mean, it doesn't look like this has really affected him. So his base is solid. Whoever wins this thing in the Republican primary will need Herman Cain voters and Herman Cain to be right there with them. So you have to be very careful.
They can't alienate him too much.
Right. They have to be very careful. You don't want to push him too far away. Herman Cain is a real asset to the Republican Party, not only because he's authentic, he's an African American, and he talks about jobs. He's created jobs. He comes from the real life, the real world.
Well, it's going to be interesting. About 2 months now, like you said, until Iowa, and I think we're going to see a lot more of you between now and then. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Tammy's in next.